Hey friends, tickets are now available for our new series of live workshops taking place in November and December. They're focused on getting coffee professionals and small business owners better prepared for 2023. There's one for coffee professionals, one for those looking to start or grow their business as a coffee consultant, and there's one for customer acquisition planning that's tailored to small business owners. Go to mapperforward.coffee/events to grab tickets or check the show notes for details. Welcome to the Daily Coffee Pro by Mapper Forward, friends. I'm your host, Safar, and I am also joined by the host of our Middle East podcast for this Swapcast, Sara Alali. Sara, in this third episode, we're going to talk about how owning a cafe changes you. So how did owning this cafe change you in ways that was different to how you were when you had the pop-up?
It changed me a lot. Hello, first of all.
Hi.
And because I'm thinking about intense things. I'm no longer the same person, for sure. It's not only owning a business, it's the pandemic that had the major effect on me personally. And the way I think, now I'm reassessing my relationships with people again and again, like, let's say, if not on a daily basis, like it's monthly basis. I wasn't like that before. And it happened during the pandemic. And now it's happening as a cafe owner.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not just about having more friends or having a wider network. Even people in your network, you should select them. So some people get this they will be happy and excited about having more friends or coffee friends around them. No, it's not me.
This wasn't helpful for you during your experience to have a lot of people around you?
It's helpful, but not any people. It's like even during my, like on a daily basis, you don't want people who are just there because they're there. Like friends. You need friends who will support you. So this is the thing that I'm prioritizing now. What kind of support I can offer them and how they can support me. It's not that I'm looking for something out of every friendship or connection. No, but it's like we went through very hard times in the pandemic, and we need a support system.
The right support system, right?
Exactly. So now why are we just having more and more coffee friends without really having the people who we really need and they need us during hard times? So this is what I'm thinking about all the time. The other thing is that I learned about myself that I can't work solo. Like, I'm not kind of person who you will just put on on a chair and a desk and tell them just work. I need to see people. And I like to be around people, and but the right people, طبعا. And what else?
I often say, as you know, I often say that being in business is going to teach you everything you never wanted to know about yourself. And I watched you over the past year experience some very difficult things, and watched you transform as you saw those things that you didn't want to have to face. And they were really, really challenging in ways that it was really hard to watch you struggle with a lot of this stuff. But I often wondered, I wonder what it feels like to be on Sara's side of having to experience these things and what she's learning about herself. And one of the questions I want to ask you around that is, do you feel stronger now, even though you're exhausted And even though it's been a year of constant challenges as the economy has started unraveling around the world, and as we've come out of a pandemic, and as consumers are more price sensitive, and as Saudi is experiencing all these big shifts, do you feel, despite all of that, that you're confident that you're stronger as a person?
Yeah, definitely. I feel much, much stronger now. And I'm taking decisions, let's say, faster, and being less emotional about the decisions. Like before, I would think like so about so many things, but
Yep.
now I'm focusing more on the why I'm doing the decision and how it's gonna help me. It's
You're more
not like
confident?
who I'm gonna lose in the process, or what do people think about me, or no. Now it's like, even if it's a hard decision that a difficult decision that I have to take, I just have to take it. And I'm more, let's say, like I would take, before I had this fear to take a new step,
Risks?
and new risks, and the step, like even something very silly, like to call someone, like I
Okay.
would think so many times before taking that. Like I'm trying to avoid it all the time. And now when I want something to happen, I just pick up the phone and just call the person. Like, what's wrong with you?
Can I ask you something on that? Do you think that that's cultural? Like what I mean by that is, as Saudi undergoes all of this cultural shifting, we're asking this this new profession of people who have been conditioned over generations and millennia to not speak to strangers. Who they don't speak to people that they don't know. What we're asking them to do now is be really hospitable to all the strangers, no matter whether they're of the same gender or different gender to them, right? And I wonder, is that an unreasonable ask? And is that something that has changed you as you've been in this new place, so that now you can pick up the phone and make these phone calls? Whereas before it was like cultural conditioning that was making you think twice.
Maybe part of it, but I think the biggest part is the confidence. Like I have more confidence now. Like before, I would pick up. I know that if I pick up the phone, like what kind of questions I should ask.
All right.
What, like I would think many times, okay, what I would expect from the other person to tell me, and how I'm gonna react. But now I don't think about these things. I just pick up the phone. I have more confidence. I ask the questions that I need to ask. And probably these, definitely, it's the skills that we worked on together with you as a consultant and as my coach. And like I think it's the confidence. It's the confidence.
It was one of the most thrilling things I've experienced as a coach, to watch you embrace, like you were hungry for assertiveness training. You were hungry for tools that helped you stop overthinking. You were hungry for things that would help you figure out how to problem solve this and problem solve that and get things out of the way in a way that, the reason it was so exciting was I watched the immediate transformation in you, and then I watched it transform the people around you. And I watched women around you and men, actually. I watched them want to be like you and have your confidence. It was really thrilling to watch it be so immediate. I mean, everything didn't go as smooth as, we watched people around you get very intimidated by what was expected from them. And we watched that lead to some chaos. But I think that the reason it worked so well for you was because right up front, we were very clear about what your values are. and you were able as a business owner to say, well, this is what my values are, and these values are going to run into what the pillars of the business's values are, and I'm not going to compromise on those values. And we're going to look for people who are longing to uphold those values. And what became difficult then was that a lot of the people who came to work for you had never been baristas before.
Yeah.
And so what we were asking of them was perhaps something that we had taken for granted about hospitality and about perhaps going out there and doing those things. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, in some ways. And but at the same time, I'm thinking they're still young, and the hospitality industry in Saudi haven't developed to the level that you can just get a person with 15 years experience. You can't find that until now. Like a Saudi with 15 years experience in hospitality I don't think it exists. So so maybe that's the part that we should work more on. And I'm willing, this is something that changed in me as well, is that I'm giving myself some space and to relax, that
nice.
They need the time and the space to work on their skills, and I need to also have the time and space to relax and have some peace of mind
and patience.
Because I am maybe I expect from people the same level of performance and that I have, and this is something that's causing a lot of conflict between Sara and Sara, which is me, because like I always think maybe I'm unfair to people because I'm asking them to do stuff that maybe they can't do, or they are not willing to do, or they just don't want to do. And it doesn't mean that I can't do or I want to do that everyone else is so excited about doing it. Some people are there just to have the money. Some people are there just to tell people that we're working at that.
I can't tell you how many cafe owners say to me, Lee, how come when I'm not in the cafe, my sales go down? How come when I'm in the cafe, my sales skyrocket? And I ask them, like, are you expecting your staff to be as committed to your cafe as you are? And they say, well, yes, I am. Of course I am. I'm paying them to. And this is where it's unreasonable to have that expectation, I think. To expect somebody to love your kid the way that you love your kid is unreasonable. It's never going to happen.
Yeah. So this is where I need to manage my expectations. And sometimes I just let it go because it's causing me a lot of emotional stress and mental stress as well. I'm a perfectionist and I just want everything to be perfect, and this is what I have in mind or imagined that to be, because it's a high-end cafe, so it should be perfect.
Yeah.
But at the end, we are human beings and we're working with human beings. So you can't expect from people to do, the maximum while they're working in a job which is, at the end of the day, it's not their business, right?
And what we have to remember is that you're in an emerging market. Like, this is the beginning of the coffee industry in Saudi Arabia. It's the beginning of the coffee industry across the Middle East. I'm in a coffee industry that's 30 years developed, and we're experiencing a lot of challenges over here. You guys are starting to learn how to do this. You guys are starting to figure out, like, what do coffee consumers in Saudi actually want at a time when Saudi is opening up for the first time in its history? That's thousands of years.
Yeah. Also, there is one thing that, sorry if you want to
No, go ahead. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
The other thing that I'm not feeling comfortable with is that I saw the generation of my parents, and they're committed to any job they work in. Like, you would see people, they've been in the same job for 15 years, 20 years, and 25 years. Now it's like, if they pass the 6 months, we say, wow.
Yeah.
We're grateful. So it's maybe here where I have, like, I'm in the middle of these two generations.
Yeah.
And I'm like looking at this generation that people are very loyal to their employers, and they would stay in the job for 25 years. And the other generation, you know, that's younger than me, that's like
Gen
maximum 6 months. Yeah. So I'm like in the middle and looking at them both. It's something weird, like that you experience all of, you know, these
the whole scope of it, the pendulum swings.
Exactly. Also, like I was born in the 80s, so even the social reform and the economic reform from the 80s till now, I'm looking at, I went through a lot, and I'm like, wow, you know, it's maybe the new generation now, they have a lot of opportunities, and it's not like at my, you know, times, you didn't have that much opportunities. So now they have a lot of opportunities, so they are experiencing more. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, because I'm trying to understand where they're coming from and why they're doing this. And I noticed a lot of people who are like also perfectionist, and they would do the same thing. They would go 6 months here, maximum 1 year. They will tell you like, "Khalas, I reached my maximum
learning
potential in this." Yes. So why would I stay in this place for more than 1 year?
Yep.
And they will go and change the job and go to another job. So maybe for us, we can look at it as they're people who are careless or not serious, but at the end of the day, there are people who are very successful, and I know them personally, and this is what they do. So maybe they have this, you know, abundance of opportunity and the luxury to change one job and another, and to jump from one place to another, and they want more freedom.
And more opportunity to learn, because different cafes do things differently. So in their minds, they may be thinking, well, one day I want to open my own cafe. And before that, I want to get as much experience learning from other people as possible. But the unfortunate side of this, and, you know, when we talk about like, what are the things that you learn about yourself when you're doing this? It was surprising to me at how heartbroken I was every time someone left my business. Like for some weird reason, you take it personally when somebody, like, they're leaving for all the right reasons. They've got different opportunities. They want to go and do something. But as a business owner, you're like, but why didn't they want to stay working for my business? Did I do something wrong? And it's
this is something that we have to work on, because it's not something like, it's not because of you or the business.
No,
it's just because
it's them. It's about them.
Yeah.
And, you know, there's a lot that being in business has taught me about myself, but I think you've covered most of the rainbow of things that it teaches people. It's not for the faint-hearted, is it?
No, it's not.
All right, so we're going to head into the next episode. This is a conversation where you're going to give cafe owners, or somebody who's looking to open their own cafe, you're going to give them tips on what they should think about and what they should do. So let's do that. Peace, love, and peanut butter, everybody. Have an amazing rest of your day. Thanks for tuning in, friends. There are 2 ways you can support this podcast. Firstly, become a paid member of our YouTube channel. Secondly, you can join our Patreon for as little as $3 a month. Don't forget to subscribe and like this video before you leave, and check the show notes for more information. Now, This is what you should check out next.